me share with you this enlightening moment that changed my perception of life when I was a young child. At school, the teacher raised a question. I'm not really sure age-wise, maybe early secondary school, I don't know. Very vague, but very important, enlightening moment, which led to many conscious shifts, disappearance of the mind and whatever. I think the guy, Jung, explains what most of my experiences were when he was 11. I think maybe most children, most of us when we're children, have an opportunity to really discover things. But of course there's some sort of magical formula that helps avoid, whether it's a lesson from God, or we can call it many things, that says it's not time, or this one's not ready, or this one's asleep, this one's being fooled, It's very important as children. I think most can recall their childhood to some sort of spontaneous thing that did not seem relevant, but is relevant now. But this enlightening moment was truly liberating for myself as a child, not really knowing that what it was about, that life itself would have to be experienced before we could understand these moments, And it was a day in class, and the teacher said, I don't even know what kind of subject it was, but the teacher had raised this question, and the question was more or less to the class. I want you all to think about this, children. How do you see yourself? And one of my friends put his hand up and said, well, the mirror. I use the mirror to see myself. And the teacher, who was male at the time, well, maybe still male now, I don't know. You don't know, do you? He kind of detracted the question. He said, no, I didn't mean it like that. I mean, you're explaining the way you see yourself through the mirror. That's okay. That's okay, he says. I'll explain it in a different way. Okay, then how do you feel about yourself? You see? And another child put his hand up and said, well, today I'm quite warm. In fact, can I get the windows open, sir? It's really hot today. And so he opens the window, and he says, no, I didn't mean your body, you see. I didn't mean how your body is feeling. How do you feel about yourself, you see? And another child answered the question that all children were asking. What do you mean? He said, how can you describe the way you are, not as the body, you see, in your mind? And the child that he was directing his stare at, he kind of looked around insecurely at the other children, and we all laughed, you see. But I wasn't laughing, you see. I was, wow, something shifted. How do I see myself, but not the body, and not outside of me with a mirror? The method. And I can't remember the rest of the class. In fact, I can't remember the rest of that year, because something was regurgitating inside. And of course, it's one of these childish things. You just forget about it, you see. And then 40 years later, this experience occurs and that question is answered, you see. But the answer is not what the mind wants to hear from the answer, you see. The mind wants to hear that there is a three-way looking: the soul, the body, the mind, and they're all separate entities. And when this body dies, the soul will go there, the mind will go there, and I'm not the body, because the body's in the ground or in the flames. So therefore I must either be the soul or the mind. And it cannot be the mind, because most come back with near-death experiences looking from the body above in a surgical death or whatever, and says, I didn't recognize who I was, where I was, what was going on. So the mind itself also fades or dies or goes in a different. So I must be the soul. And that's the answer that the mind has accepted for centuries. And you see, that's not an acceptable answer to the mind, because the mind wants to know what happens to the soul. Where does the soul go? And then we have so many explanations on books, quotations, and religions, YouTube videos. What happens to the soul, you see? But the answer is not what the mind, it's not whatever we are is looking for. It's the ongoingness of the question. Not the question, how do I see myself? But to continue to sit and observe. When the teacher says, no, not how your body is, not the methods of understanding and reflecting your body, but the mind has ideas about itself. So the mind appears to be separate from the body. And the body, when it sees itself in the external mirror, is separate from the mirror. You see? There's a three-way, circling, spiraling, three-way, always three-way, you see. And then the mind wants to fix things in so many ways. Today I'm going to fix things in a oneness way. And that's when you go and your mind says, okay, it's about time you found what everyone else is speaking about: oneness, wholeness. So the mind then goes on its path to fix oneness and wholeness and gives examples, and it becomes the teacher to itself. The body is not part of this examination because it's a mental construct up here. So the mind does not invite the body into this examination. It does not invite the mirror into this examination. It does not invite the external world into this examination. The mind wants to keep it for itself, you see. So the examination is, there is no body separate from the mind. There is no mind separate from the mirror. There's no mirror separate from the body. There's no mirror separate from the mind. There's no body separate from the mirror. Each connotation It's not true. That what is witnessing the mind, the body, and the mirror, the external worlds, and even the internal world, whatever you want to bring into the examination, that what witnesses is not the mind, it's not the body, it's not the mirror. It's a witness that continues to witness through a witnessing, not through I am the witness looking at the mirror, the body, and the mind. The witnessing is all that takes place. Mind, body, and mirror are words, they're examples, or methods, or practices that we have lovingly grabbed onto. I am this body. I am also the mind. We're separate. The teacher spoke to the child as if the child was separate. I'm not asking about how does your body feel. I'm asking how do you feel? So it has to be the mind, or is it the mind? There's the teacher asking you, whatever you are, the truth, the witnessing, to try and reveal anything about what you feel you are. You see, the sensory body, the eyes, the ears, the mouth, the fingers, the touching, the sensing, the smelling mechanisms are not disconnected from the body. And they're not disconnected from the mind either, because the mind makes something out of him. The mind says that smell is the people laying the new surface on the road, that bitumen. You know, that's what that is. You see, the mind and the body are conferring. And the mirror itself. How do you see yourself? I use the mirror. You see, all different ways of not confronting what the teacher is saying. The teacher's not asking the question to get an answer. The teacher's just giving life to the question. And the question is so essential to look into, but not to answer. If answer comes, Ramana Maharshi, not this, not this. So when I am the mind, not this. I am the body, not this. I am the mirror, not this. And Ramana Maharshi, like a few, have even denied their consciousness, that everything is. I am the consciousness, not this. How do you see yourself? It's not about what the words mean. It's not about getting an answer. It's not about bringing together oneness or dividing and separating. It is about constantly inquiring that observes the question, that absolutely lives within this question. You know, you can say, I live within my body, I live within my mind, I live within the mirror. But truly, I live within the question. You see? Humans have created this question, answer. The middle bit, it's not important. It's the question and the answer that's important. Denied the questioning and the answering at the same time. You see? Bypassing. Never meeting. Never meeting. How do you see yourself? Yes. This way. This way. This way. You see? Why spend your whole life trying to understand division and then using the divisive components, which are individual: body, mind, outside world, mirror, inside world? How many components? How can one bring the other ones to them? Is that not some sort of imbalance act? Is it not an imbalance act? Is non-duality or oneness not just when the question is answered, how do you see yourself? It's not an external, I have to project something out of me. I have to start checking my brain out. I have to start reading the books. I have to start mantras. I have to start methods. I have to start practices. Who is this I that wants to do all these things? When you say I, who are you? You say I am, whatever name. So who is I? I am the body. You're not the mind. Yeah, I am also the mind. Who is that in the mirror? That's also I. So the mirror is also a part of I. And when you start looking at that, that can be another way of unifying. It's a long process, but the awakening is when you're taken out of the everything, out of time. You cannot be taken out of your body. You see, you are more expansive. I am more expansive of this body. It's just that everything is zoning into this I and projecting out through this, cylindrical representation of the tower that I am. So, in this moment of, U.G. Krishnamurti calls it a shock, Eckhart Tolle calls it that mirror moment. My experience very similar. So many little minuscule experiences of, wow, everything just. As you get older, you see, and you don't know what the speaker is speaking about, and you're going through life, and you're walking up the stairs, and you're planning to get your jacket out of the cupboard because you're going out, and you're walking up the stairs, and you get to the top of the stairs and you say, what am I looking? Why did I come up here? It's very fearsome, you see, because the mind says, "Oh, you're early stages dementia. That's not healthy. You should be sharp. You should be able to. Your mind should not be faltering like this. This is dangerous. You maybe have to go seek some help. You don't stand at the top of the stairs and love this moment and sit down and say, well, it's okay. It's moments that consciousness takes you out of the seeking and searching, the mind state, the ego state, to try and discover something about this life. And consciousness gives you a minuscule moment to say, okay, here's another one. And you go, oh God. Or your partner shouts, what are you doing? Why? Yeah, I forgot what I'm. Oh, your jacket. Oh, yeah, thank God for my own. I'm not advocating the fact that we should all just value this early stages dementia if it's, a biological or physical thing. I mean, there are different scenarios, you see, but using the similarities, because I've experienced being old, these moments, and these moments are very similar. But we have a healthy mind to get us out of the dementia moment, to try and say, no, this is not the right moment, you see. But the moment when something just goes from a question, external, from a book, from religion, whatever, the moment that question just grabs you and shakes you, everything that you have away, an answer is revealed, but it's not an answer to the question that was asked. It's the answer to say, I must always investigate this question. How do I see myself? How can there be three talking? The one that asked the question, like the child in the mirror, how do I see myself? Well, there's me looking in the mirror, and I see myself in the mirror over there. So I am the questioner, I am the looker, I am the seer. How can this be? How can I be all three things? I am simply one thing. I am simply one thing. I'm not this body, I'm not this mind. Individual things. I'm not this mirror, I'm not this body, I'm not this mind, I'm not this soul, I'm not this spirit, I'm not this consciousness. I am one thing. I am not the form thing, and I'm not the formless thing. I am one thing, but thing is not the right word, you see. I am one. I am whole. I cannot differentiate between the difference between a body, a mind, a mirror, a world, a universe, a God, a consciousness. These are all little artifacts, thoughts, words, designed by this one thing. And this one thing is not God. It is all inclusively. But we choose to zone in to the minuscule me, the minuscule body, the minuscule mind. It doesn't have to be minuscule. The big body, even though I'm only small, I'm smaller than the tree. I'm quite vast, I'm quite strong and rigid. I'm a powerful mind, but the human mind is limited. If the human mind is not limited, it would understand everything about everything. But we zone into the emotional system, the five senses. The five senses. And they make videos about sixth sense. They make videos about 10th dimensions. And these are also minuscule things, but they are more expansive than just living in a five sense body. And people say the purpose is to be here in a five sense body. Yes, that's okay. The purpose to be here in a five sense body, but the purpose to know fully that I am the only sense. There is a sense that is infinite and immortal. I am that, willing and easily accepting this five sense body. But when the five sense body goes through life saying, I am only the five sense body, with a mind, looking at a mirror, and a world that's outside of me, and I will die. That's a little component has left this wholeness. And when the body fades, the mind fades, and the soul fades, something says, still witnessing, something still observing, not with eyes, something still sensing, something still essentially here as the whole one. I know this does not make sense. I'm not trying to preach or teach or advocate something that is personal to me or knowledgeable to the mind. How do I see myself? The questioner, how do I see my self? How many of me is there? There's only one. But the question breaks it up. The question dissects it. The teacher says to the child, in your state, your current state, I'm asking the question only to the mind. Yeah. But the power of the question supersedes the mind, the body, the mirror, the world, the ego, the conscious understanding, the knowledge, the condition, the programming, the genetics, the whole reincarnation system. The power of the question brings everything into one moment. And this one moment truly is powerful. Not is powerful. The end of the sentence was is. But being it, living it, sensing it, loving it, knowing it, truly powerful. Truly, truly powerful. And it's worth it. It's truly worth this life.